1947. Some may remember it as a year of freedom for South Asians. The year when the promise of free and independent nations raised hopes and aspirations for hundreds of millions of people. But in fact, it was a year they lost their freedom to an endless war. With millions of lives lost, both India and Pakistan to this day struggle in facing the consequences.
Arnav, what is the first thing that comes to your mind when the country Pakistan is mentioned?
It's the country that always bombs us. That's what comes to my mind first.
Okay.
But at the same time, that doesn't mean I feel that the whole nation is full of terrorists.
The Wagah border, because I remember going there when as a child and not knowing much about partition, I noticed how friendly the soldiers were, how similar the people were on both sides. And at that time I couldn't comprehend, and everyone was just so happy on both sides, I couldn't comprehend why there was a divide.
It was like the way I was taught it's a necessary evil for India's independence. And I don't agree with that, but at the same time, I mean, like it is what it is, right?
I feel like history is always written from the perspective of one person. It's always one-sided, and I feel like about partition, the history Ireland was obviously one-sided, like from Pakistan's perspective.
So his father was a doctor in Jalandhar, and one day the Sikhs raided the hospital, and they were gonna kill him. But then one of the Sikhs realized that his my pardada, so my great grandfather, had cured one of his relatives. So he said according to my religion, I can't kill anyone that has helped me. So then he let my pardada live.
And you hear people and you see people saying, yeah, I hate Pakistan, I hate Pakistan, I hate Pakistanis, which I can't seem to relate to, because it's not like it's my friend Rania who carried out those terrorist attacks, but it was actually a terrorist group that's from Pakistan.
I want to clarify that the issue of terrorism in Pakistan Pakistan should not be responsible for it. We have lost so many people. We have lost over 70,000 people of our own people to terrorism ourselves. These attacks don't stop and stuff like that. I feel like they're diplomats. They need to act like
it's very understandable that the Indian government and Indian people are mad, because the Pakistani government, even if they weren't complicit in the attacks, they did these terrorist groups were these terrorists were bred in Pakistan, they were trained in Pakistan, and obviously they have connections with the Pakistani army. And I personally think that that's very wrong. As a nation, you shouldn't be supporting terrorism in other nations.
Considering the fact that half your family is from India and the other half from Pakistan, where do you stand? What do you believe in? And
I'm truly from both countries, I consider myself, because I have relatives from both countries, and I've been shown a lot of love from both cultures. I mean, my grandparents are great, all of them. So
there's no country you're biased to.
I have no bias.
Okay.
Pakistani civilians are still so, based on the ones I've interacted with, are so bubbly, have so much hope, are so open-minded, are so willing to get to know other people from different cultures, get to know Indian people. I had so many Pakistani friends who attended the Emory Diwali function, and they embraced it like it was their own culture, and it is their own culture, and it was just a beautiful sight to see. So hope is the word I'd give.
And what is one thing you really like about Pakistan?
I love the way how they constantly let us win in cricket, and I think that's an absolutely lovely thing that they do. So I want to thank the cricket team for constantly letting us win.
On one hand, you could say that we look similar. We have similar languages. There's Punjabis in Pakistan, Punjabis in India, people Hindi, Urdu, basically the same language. And also I feel like we have similar culture, food, and it's a shared history too, right?
We are the last generation that have direct contact with people who have experienced partition. Instead of shying away from talking about partition, we should embrace it, have conversations about it. Because what happened defined our culture and our people for the years to come. 1947 should not and will not be forgotten. As the youth, we have a moral obligation to understand our past and positively carry it with us for the generations to come.